yield curve has changed from January to date. It's been dramatic, where we've moved from 6-7% in January to about 13-14%. Just highlight for us very quickly the story behind that.
Well, what has happened this year, like you said, has been very dramatic. The market has had challenges in managing the switch from CBN's easing policy to their current tightening policy. Essentially, like you correctly said, the 3 years started the year trading at about 6%, but sometime in March, we had year lows of about 3.5, and 5 years traded as low as 450, and I think the 20-year did as low as 7.5. Towards the third quarter, beginning of the third quarter, when the CBN's policy stance kind of changed. The focus was now more on inflation. We had these huge spikes because a lot of the banks, which ordinarily hold about 65-70% of the bonds, were looking for outlets, and that it wasn't just there. Also, in addition to that, there was some sort of lack of coordination, policy coordination between the CBN and the DMO, because whilst the central bank was easing, the DMO actually increased the issuance size by about 75% this year.
Compared to last year?
Yeah, they've issued a total of, today, depending, because today is the last auction for the year, depending on how much they sell, but based on the offered, the calendar, they will have issued a total of 1.07 trillion this year, as against about 674 billion in the previous year. A lot of that was in the 20-year tenor, about close to about half of that size was in the 20-year tenor.
Right. Okay, let's very quickly, because we have to move back to Joburg very quickly. The exchange rate has also been a big issue, and for me, the big number is the decline in the FX reserves, down about 20%. However, interestingly, we've seen the Naira only lose about 2% in the interbank market this year. Going into next year, what are your expectations? I'm not predicting we'll have another 20% decline, but if we were to see that kind of decline in the FX reserves, can the Naira be that stable?
Well,
because people are calling Naira stability a key risk going into 2011. Well,
it might be a bit challenging for the central bank to maintain its stable exchange rate regime going into the new year, essentially because, like you've said, the demand. The demand is still there. Today was the last auction for the year, and the central bank actually offered $800 million.